Hollywood is a land of dreams where aspiring actors and actresses flock in hopes of making it big. One actress who never reached her full potential is Helen Walker. Despite her undeniable talent and stunning looks, her career failed to take off as it should have. Join Factsverse as we present, sadly, Helen Walker never reached her full potential as an actress. Rocky beginnings. Helen Marion Walker was born July 17, 1920, in Worcester, Massachusetts. Her Irish-American parents struggled to make ends meet, and Helen's family lived in poverty during her childhood. Tragically, her father, who managed a grocery store, passed away when she was 6, leaving her and her 2 sisters to live on a farm in Upton, Massachusetts. With her mother working at a department store, the family was still barely making ends meet when Helen's mother suffered a nervous breakdown. As a high school student, Walker found her passion for acting while participating in school plays. She earned a scholarship to the Erskine School of Dramatics in Boston and began her studies. But after her first play, she withdrew from the school after being embarrassed by her performance. Despite this initial setback, her passion for acting never waned, and she continued to pursue her dream. After she dropped out of school, she got her start in acting, performing in local stock theater. Her talent soon led her to Broadway, where in 1942 she landed the role of Lisa Otis in the production Jason. During this time, she also tied the knot with Robert Blumofe, a lawyer for Paramount, in Mexico on November 19, 1942. Sadly, the marriage ended in divorce in 1946. It was rumored that Blumofe's drinking played a significant role in the unraveling. In 1942, Walker made her first film appearance in Lucky Jordan, a comedy featuring Alan Ladd. She quickly gained recognition for her performances in leading roles in comedies, often playing the reactress, a term she coined to comedic leads. 2 of her notable films from 1945 are Brewster's Millions and Murder, He Says. Interestingly, according to Canadian-American actress Yvonne De Carlo, Walker was a good-natured but tough-talking starlet who introduced fellow Paramount contract player Gail Russell to the calming effects of vodka. De Carlo noted in her 1987 biography that Russell despised acting and everything that went along with it. She especially hated being put on display before film crews and executives. So when she discovered, with Walker's help, that she could simply numb her sorrows and drown her insecurities, she found this to be an initial godsend. But her reliance on alcohol eventually led to addiction. After getting divorced, Walker began dating H. Bruce Lucky Humberstone, a well-known director of Charlie Chan films, as well as the movies I Wake Up Screaming, Hello Frisco Hello, and Pinup Girl. Humberstone was already familiar with Walker, having served as best man at her wedding to Blumofe, with his then-wife as matron of honor. Humberstone also directed Walker's 1947 film The Home Stretch. The accident. Helen Walker's Hollywood career was cut short when a devastating car accident almost took her life. It was the end of 1946, and she had just wrapped up filming for Her Adventurous Night and was set to star in Heaven Only Knows. But before that, a seemingly harmless decision to pick up 3 hitchhikers on her way to Hollywood changed everything. Driving a convertible coupe belonging to Humberstone, Walker picked up a soldier named Robert E. Lee and 2 young students, Philip Mercado and Joseph Montalda. Near Redlands, California, the car careened off the road and rolled over multiple times, ejecting all 4. Tragically, Lee was killed on impact, and Walker and the 2 students were severely injured. Walker suffered multiple fractures to her pelvis and clavicle, and her foot was crushed. She spent over a month in the hospital, but the emotional scars of the accident lingered on. Despite legal troubles and the accident, Walker was determined to continue her acting career. She went on to take up prominent roles in films such as Call Northside 777 and My Dear Secretary, and perhaps her most famous as the duplicitous psychoanalyst in the original version of Nightmare Alley. The accident, however, took a significant toll on her life, as she faced multiple lawsuits from the injured passengers. Mercado sued her for $150,000, alleging that Walker was driving recklessly, ignored his requests to slow down, and was even smoking while driving. Montalde also sued her for $100,000. The police estimated Walker was driving at an excessive speed of over 80 miles per hour, and a responding officer even claimed to have smelled alcohol on her breath. Despite the charges of manslaughter, which were later dismissed, Walker continued to work in Hollywood, although she was no longer greeted with open arms. Things went from bad to worse. Helen Walker's bright future in Hollywood was extinguished by that tragic accident that ended the life of a U.S. soldier. Even though she was eventually cleared of criminal charges, the repercussions were brutal. United Artists had to reshoot all her scenes in Heaven Only Knows with Marjorie Reynolds, a costly and time-consuming endeavor. Major studios were hesitant to hire her, and Hollywood insiders saw her as a liability, quote, the drunk who killed a U.S. soldier. Despite her early promise, Walker could only secure thankless supporting roles in films like Call Northside 777, where she played James Stewart's wife, and My Dear Secretary, where she was Rudy Valley's secretary. The accident had taken its toll, and her career was in freefall. Her face had changed as well, with puffy cheeks and dark circles under her eyes, replacing her once dewy, fresh appearance. In her next film, Impact, she played a scheming, murderous wife, a departure from her previous roles, but her reputation had already been tarnished. Walker's final 3 films were low-budget B flicks, a stark contrast to her auspicious start in Hollywood. In My True Story, she played a paroled inmate trying to turn her life around. In Problem Girls, she appeared as a stern matron of a girls' school. Her final film, The Big Combo, was a well-received film noir, but her role was small. It reminded audiences of the potential that had gone unrealized. Despite the support of colleagues and friends from her film days, including Dinah Shore, Hugh O'Brien, Ruth Roman, and Vivian Blaine, Walker's fortunes continued to decline. In 1950, she married department store exec Edward Dudomaine, but that marriage ended in divorce 2 years later. Perhaps she should have listened more intently to her instincts, because at one point she told the LA Times when she first met Edward she hated him. Needless to say, the marriage was very unhappy. Walker testified before the judge in her divorce proceedings that Dudomaine resented her career, friends in the industry, and everything else about him. She said he made her drop her friends and give up potentially lucrative film contracts. Not long after that, she lost everything in a house fire. Since she was struggling financially at the time, several Hollywood actresses ended up holding a benefit in her honor. In addition to all of that hardship, she was diagnosed with jaw cancer in 1959, and on March 10, 1968, she passed away in her small apartment in North Hollywood. She was 47. What might have been. It's a shame what happened to Helen Walker. She started out with so much potential and drive. Her love for the bottle and partying led her to mix in company with individuals who didn't always have her best interests at heart. In turn, she introduced others to a lifestyle that would go on to harm their lives and careers as well. But the real cause of her downfall was clearly that accident. If she'd never made the split-second decision to pick up those hitchhikers, her life and career likely would have played out much differently. Today, her name might be equal in weight to stars like Audrey Hepburn, Jane Mansfield, Sophia Loren, and Elizabeth Taylor. But sadly, the majority of modern viewers are relatively unfamiliar with Walker and her body of work. Now it's time to hear from you. Had you heard of Helen Walker before? Did you know about her fatal car accident that led to her career downfall? Let us know in the comments section below.